Now, have you ever had those moments where life just throws a choice at you and you're left there standing like, wait, what now? We've all been there, feeling the pressure and wondering if we should just keep on going just because everyone expects it from us. But our next speaker is going to take us on a little journey on how we can reset that mindset. So let's welcome Miss Sara Mbarki.
Good evening. I have a quick question for you. Who has heard the phrase, winners never quit and quitters never win? I'll tell you about the first time that I heard it. I was in my first year of secondary school and I was sentenced to 20 burpees because I was caught talking to my friend. It's great because I chose a profession where I can talk all day without getting into trouble. I did finish them and the scores were settled. Burpee 0, Sara 1. It quickly became my teacher's catchphrase for the next 6 years. And it is true. The more you hear something, the more you internalize it. And the way I internalized it was this. If I wanted to win in life, I couldn't quit. And if I wanted to quit, I needed to prepare not to win. It makes sense to us, doesn't it? But talking about quitting feels a little bit taboo. We're conditioned by society and our families to believe that quitting is directly correlated to failure. And where that isn't entirely wrong, it isn't exactly true. It's only half the truth. You see, when we want to quit, we need to pause and reflect. And this is a difficult lesson we need to learn. As we get older, we need to factory reset. Strip everything back to the bare bones so that when we want to make choices in life, we can, with the right tools. If you've ever played Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo DS, then I'm sure you've fallen victim to winners never quit and quitters never win. For me, I was especially tested when it came to Bowser's Castle. It was a big stretch. And every time I wanted to jump from one side to the other, I was attacked by a fireball. And don't get me wrong, I tried and I tried and I tried. But within the rage, I decided to just take a pause and play a different game. For me, it was Cooking Mama. Cooking Mama was my favorite. There was something about chopping digital onions that just brought me so much internal peace. And I'd come back to it. And of course, with enough perseverance, the scores were settled. Bowser 0, Sara 2. And the key word is perseverance. As a teacher to the most wonderful second grade class, the first thing I taught them was perseverance. I know it's a big word. That's what they told me. And I tell them, keep on trying and never give up. And I feel like a hypocrite standing in front of you telling you to quit things more often. But the fine print of it is this. It doesn't apply to my second graders who don't want to do addition, or any seniors who don't want to carry on with their college applications, or parents who have annoying co-workers that they can't stand. Because in reality, we can't just quit when we feel like it. So what do? Sometimes when I find myself overwhelmed from pushing too hard, I've learned to just pause, reflect before quitting. I believe that the best way to quit is to do so. It's a cycle of pausing and reflecting and redirecting. And of course, when necessary, you can quit. In the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, it's difficult to find that time to pause. It needs to become part of our daily habits so that when it comes to big decisions, we have the right tools to do so, to be able to quit or redirect without the shame and guilt in choosing what's right for us. But if I'm being honest, if there's something I wish I can do in life more, was to just quit. Wouldn't it just feel so good? Especially during report card time. It's definitely something that rings through my head. During my part-time job at university, I had these fantasies of walking up to my manager and just yelling, "I quit!" Of course, followed by a dramatic walkout. But the freedom and liberation that's glorified in TVs and movies of quitting just is that. It's fiction. Life is just not that kind to give us a slow-motion montage with a nice soundtrack to back it up. The thing is, quitting can look different to different situations. Sometimes it can be a brief pause. And of course, you can quit and find something else that sparks joy, curiosity, as we grow and change the world around us. Simone Biles has 10 Olympic medals and 30 World Championship medals. During the Tokyo Olympics, she quit and paused so that she can focus on her mental health. For her, the world criticized and admired her courage at the same time. But she came back to win gold yet again. Courage for her was taking the time to recalibrate and come back so she could rise as the star that she is. Harrison Ford was a struggling actor and he almost gave up. But a chance meeting with Lucas allowed him to lead the role, Han Solo, in the Star Wars franchise, which we famously know him for. Sometimes a door closed can just lead you to the right one. Look, I hope all this talk of quitting has inspired you in the right way. I hope none of you have been drafting resignation letters in your head. And if there's something I want you to take away from it, it's this. Our lives are extremely short, as cliche as it sounds. And we don't get extra lives like our good friend Super Mario did. Spending time doing things that do not bring us joy, purpose, and happiness is just simply a waste. And as we grow, I think it's important that we strip everything back and we do evaluate to see if what we're doing is bringing us to the right direction. I was very lucky. I've always known that I wanted to be a teacher ever since I was young. So I knew to get to where I wanted to be, I had to persevere, regardless of how tough things got. And trust me, our human instincts in flight or flight, sometimes I definitely wanted to flight. But the perseverance in knowing what I wanted to be is the thing that pushed me forward. And there's times where I paused, and thank God for COVID, which allowed me to take a nice break from university so that I could recalibrate and get my focus back. The cycle of pausing and evaluating depends on what stage in life we're at. When we're younger, it's crucial that we persevere. It builds a foundation for the toughest times that we can face. And as we get older and we settle into our careers, this is where I believe it's important that we reflect and we pause. And sometimes we can change and quit. One thing for certain is that time will move on, regardless. So spending our lives doing something that doesn't make us happy just simply isn't it. And if you find yourself stuck, settle the score with life. Make sure that you're always winning. Thank you.